So great to see you all and very happy to be here. We just heard we also have the longest title for a talk, so that's at least something. Yes, we'll talk you through the things we have seen in setting up journey management within the Dutch Railways. We'll start with a short introduction. Some things are already mentioned. But we'll also show you the business context of what our change is for the Dutch Railways, of one of the big changes we are working on, some of the challenges and context constraints we face when we are trying to implement journey management, and also some learnings we'd like to share with you guys. So there will probably be time at the end for some questions, hopefully, so we'll talk swiftly.
Yeah, so as mentioned before, my name is Myrthe, Senior Service Design Consultant at Coast. You might know us. We started with service design, but nowadays we are a global design and innovation agency with offices in Amsterdam, Oslo, Lisbon, and Berlin. Visit us at the studio night tonight. But before joining Coast, I lived in the US, San Francisco, 3 years, and worked at various design agencies as UX designer, but also as strategist. And I love working with design, but I think my real happy place is in the mountains, in a camper van. And I hope to share this love with my little daughter, 4-month-old daughter. Yeah, she's joining me to Berlin. She's with my husband in the hotel. Peter.
Yeah, so I also have a bridge, a bit smaller than the one from San Francisco. I live in Utrecht, in the center of the Netherlands. It's also where the HQ of the NS is located, so I have an 8-minute commute by bike. Very nice. I like to read a lot, so I made a picture of my bookcase, and I've zoomed in on Thomas Mann, because I'm a guest here in Germany. I thought it would be nice to select German author, a great admirer. This is Krav Maga. Maybe in the introduction you thought I would be very powerful and great, but I'm literally floored by a group of powerful women in a self-defense class that I was a bad guy in. And this is my own, my personal powerful woman, Ragnar, my wife, who I married a year ago. And she will join me tomorrow for a trip in Berlin after the conference, and maybe at the party tomorrow night. So that's a bit about me. So I work for NS, the Dutch Railways. It's the biggest train company in the Netherlands, and we work Europe's busiest railway network. So daily 1.1 million people choose the train as their sustainable transportation choice to go to work, to visit friends and family, and to take trips around the country. So quick question, who visits the conference by train? Who's here by train? It's already a great crowd. And who used something like maybe Yelby to plan a trip, shared mobility, something in that order? Are there people using multimodal apps, planning your trips? A bit less, okay. So it all started here in a little place called Haarlem, next to Amsterdam. This was the first train. It's on the side of Myrthe. And people went out and looked at this marvelous wonder. And this was in 1839, so quite a while ago. In the meantime, we've worked very hard for 180 years to get better and better at driving trains, building the network, etc. But we are now in a changing sphere. And we are changing gears from just being a railway operator, a train company, to becoming a broad mobility provider. As this illustrates, we have the train, but we also have dogs now. We also have the scooters. We will offer the e-bikes, maybe steps, shared cars. And this has to do with the changing mobility environment. There are bigger trends like sustainability, people moving into the city, and at the same time getting cars out of the city because they take up a lot of space and they're just standing there. So this means that people need to travel in different ways, and we as NS want to take an important role in making the Netherlands available for everyone using all kinds of transport. So now it's not yet possible, but in the future you will be able to find all kinds of modes of transportation via us, via our digital landscape, and also via the journeys we manage, but more on that later.
Yeah, and to go into this transformation towards being a more mobility provider, it was key for NS to also be truly customer-centric and understand the needs of the customer around mobility, not only in the train, but going to the train, from the train, moving between cities, moving between countries. To create those meaningful experience, in the broader scheme of mobility. And when we started collaborating with NS, just like a lot of other companies, NS was still struggling to be that truly customer-centric. And challenges lay in the adoption of the mindset and the way of working in the day-to-day business, like busy, hard to think through the whole, really what the needs are. Also, there was research available within NS, within certain teams. Some teams were doing a good job, but then it sort of disappeared in a folder in someone's computer. You might recognize it, and the valuable insights were not shared with other teams. Collaboration across teams was difficult. Like, even though they were working on the same experience, they were not collaborating, resulting in fragmented services from a customer perspective. Well, and finally, making decisions, what is most important for the customer to focus on as a team, was also hard. Curious how many people recognize these challenges in their own company. And on top of that, like journeys, people were working with journeys, so they were already doing a great job, but still, like, some journeys were very assumption-based. It could be, the quality could be improved. And also, as you see visually, like, they were doing it in various different ways. NS, they thought, let's jump on the train of journey management. And in theory, it also sounds like a perfect solution. I mean, it helps employees to think, to work, to act in a customer-centric way by providing an overview. Journey management creates an overview of all the experiences that you deliver as a company. And journey management, provides insight to all those different colleagues in different teams. What are the services that we deliver? There's a high-level view of this journey, but also zoomed-in versions, like micro-journeys that team can work specifically on specific kind of experiences and improve them. And this overview can provide insight in different responsibilities and ownership. So in that case, can help the collaboration across teams. Additionally, the phases in a journey can be measured and tracked and monitored, and teams can get insight in the improvements that they have launched, if they have eventually the desired effect. And also these CX metrics then eventually can be connected with the business metrics. So also being able to have that conversation with product owners, with management, to really show the value and the importance of customer experience improvements. And finally, eventually, journey management is also a tool that can help with the way of working, daily way of working. As it is sort of an insight repository where everyone has access and can get an insight in the current customer experience. All this together sounds like heaven, right? For service designers.
So let's pause here for a moment. So who here is already working with or thinking about working with journey management? Are there?
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot, yeah. When you're at home and watching this, you can also raise your hand, but it's more of an exercise than an interaction. With the questions, we'll follow up. And what are some of the challenges you face? Could I maybe get someone to share something?
Challenges of implementing journey management within your organization.
Oh, sorry, I should have said I needed a mic. Yeah. Here was someone who wanted to share something. Oh, yeah.
Hi there, my name is Sergeant Matthew. So one of the challenges we face is drawing the distinction between a journey and a digital flow. Mm-hmm. Sometimes digital flows can be a journey, but at the same time, they're just a set of flows or a screen, but really not a journey because there's more to cover, or the scope is a little more larger.
Yeah. Thanks. Anyone else sharing a thought? Oh.
My experience is when you start structuring journeys in architecture and frameworks, you sort of lose yourself in the structure and you lose the touch with the actual deep sort of emotional side of that the journeys were intended for in the first place.
Yeah.
So it seems like the structuring and the like the deep meaning are sort of polarized.
Yeah. So why are you doing this in the first place? You might lose it if you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Well, we also have some challenges. It's not going as fast as we would have hoped. We've been talking about journey management for quite a while. I just spoke to Mark Stignon, who's here in the room, one of the, I think, journey management prophets, or maybe half gods. I'm not sure if I should raise you too much, but still. But it's we've been talking about it for quite a while. But we have some challenges in why it doesn't go as fast and quickly and heaven-like as we would like it to be. So, yeah, well, the picture speaks for itself, I guess. Not sure if you can see it. Organizations get tired, people in organizations get tired of new stuff, reorganizations, buzzwords, new fancy dashboards. In the department where I work, we just had an agile transformation, so all the teams went to work suddenly with product owners, scrum masters, in sprints with Jira and in PI plannings, quarterly PI plannings, and suddenly everything changed, all kinds of new words, and people within NS especially usually work there for quite a long time. If you say, oh, I've been working for NS for 10 years, and you have the feeling it's long, people say, oh, I've been here for 30 or 40 years. So they've seen it all. They've had lean and agile and all the different stuff. So here we come with journey management. It's different tooling, it's different wording. We also open up the discussion for might we need to organize teams around journeys. So it's another reorganization. So this is something in our context that is really a challenge. What is also a challenge is the complexity of a large organization. We have a lot of teams and clusters working sort of in the same skilled agile way, but every cluster also does it in its own way. So they have a different formation of teams, they have different goals they are working on, sometimes different tooling. There's a lot happening at the same time, so there's a lot of things that call for the attention of the teams, and yeah, this is also something we operate in, and we just cannot change. Simply just say, oh, let's do it all in the same way. Yeah, and I think the value of journey management is hard to prove. We believe in it. We follow the prophet. Sorry, Mark. We follow the thoughts about it because we really believe in this. But it is also very, very hard to prove in a quantitative way the value of journey management. We don't have it yet. So when I look at my context, we are a very result-driven organization. So every time we talk about it, someone goes, okay, but what will it earn us extra of? What is the value? And it's easy to tell about the value, a systematic outside-in view that really helps us understand the customer needs and connect it to business opportunities and find the opportunities, etc. But still, the entire project, it's hard. Just like Agile, I think, was. And
I think service design, even 10 years ago.
Service design.
We were saying this about service design. So
yeah.
We are hopeful.
And I think, to quote someone, what's the return of investment on management? People find it also hard to say. The same goes for this. So these are some of the context in our challenge in our context.
So, as every big question starts, also in this case, how might we become the masters of the journey first, or NS become the masters of the journey first? We have 5 learnings. So, 5 best practices that we learned along the way. I mean, journey management is also quite new. So, even us as COs working in service design for quite some years, we haven't worked that much with journey management. But we have some learnings. Sorry, and I'm going to say it's the elephant in the room for all the designers out there. Sorry for the fonts with the size differences. There's something weird with the size, but sorry. I'm annoyed by it. But yeah, first learning, practice what you preach. I mean, we are initiating a transformation within NS. And to be more specific, it's like a design transformation. It's helping customers to be more customer-centric. And in order to drive this transformation, we ourselves need to be customer-centric and apply service design methods to drive this transformation and to be a catalyst for the change inside. So how we did that is we started, when collaborating with NS, we started with the stakeholder interview. So we identified 3 different stakeholder groups, like the designers, the product owners, management, to understand what are their challenges around being customer-centric and what are their needs and requirements in the context of journey management. Based on that, we co-created journey management together with them. So the frameworks, the templates, the governance models, we co-created together with them to make a tailored version of journey management in the context of NS. I mean, we've all read the blogs online about journey management and how you should apply it, but following that textbook doesn't, come up with a result that fits NS. So you get a tailored version of journey management, and on top of that, you have also stakeholder engagement from day one. Finally, we had to prototype, test, and learn. So we facilitated quite a lot of journey pilots to learn how they work with journey, and based on those iterations, or based on those learnings, we iterated on the frameworks, on the tooling. And that leads to my second point, find a good balance between thinking and doing. I think, and I mean thinking, and I mean with thinking is really sitting down and making a framework that fits, that's long-lasting, that's sustainable for adding more journeys on top of it. But on the other hand, also the doing aspect, like getting to work and improving those journeys and getting your feet in the hands dirty. This was a learning process. And when we joined NS, they were doing a lot. So people were adding journeys to the tooling, and they were working with journeys. But there was too little guidance, and the journeys were there, but there was no management on it, and the quality of the journeys were not there. So doing is a good perspective, like a good strategy, but you need to do some thinking. And what we mean with thinking is really think through the different building blocks that we identified. So on the one hand, the journey framework, the templates, the tooling. Second, the metrics framework. So, okay, you have a journey framework, but what kind of CX metrics are important for the NS organization? It's also very depending on the organization, what kind of metrics they work with. Relating those CX metrics with the business metrics that are important for the different teams. And finally, the governance model. So how are teams working with it in a day-to-day practice? And we can come up with saying, you need to have journey owners, or you need to, whatever, like all the design language, but meaning looking at the challenge, they are done with reorganizations. Like we need to build upon their tooling, their rituals, their responsibilities, and see how journey management fits the current context. Eventually, like those building blocks, we worked on it, but then we also need to test it and prototype it. So for example, we worked with the team that were helping, that was responsible for the flow, the digital flow of canceling your subscription, which was a perfect case for microjourney. I'm sort of responding to a question there. Microjourney, where we sort of took that digital flow, but also looked at the before and after, and created a microjourney of it. And with working with the team, we understood better how teams want to work with journey management.
Yeah, so another thing we learned was to really make it simple, accessible, and pragmatic. These are all busy people doing all kinds of things. So if we come on them with a very complex product, their first experience with it will be hell. I usually say if you try to start juggling, you probably won't start with 7 balls because you will fail always. So start with 2 balls or 3. So there is great tooling out there that can help you set up journey management, and I really advise to look into that. But the tooling also has all kinds of options. So every time we designed something, be it on the master, macro, or micro level, the different zoom levels, or the framework, or the metrics, we always asked ourselves, should we do this? Should we do this now? Does it make too complex? What if it doesn't work and we need to turn it around again? So we really try to start with the basics and iterate slowly upon that. Oh,
Yeah.
that was the picture for the toolbox. Then keep the fire burning. So we are very enthusiastic about this direction we are moving into, but that doesn't apply to everyone. They are doing their day-to-day business. So we need to keep the fire burning. We did some things to help within this. So we had monthly journey management operation meetings where we just get together with the service designers, the journey owners. So what is happening? What are some of the things that we provided in the further construction of the more thinking part of it, but also questions on what they have in challenges there in the working with the journeys, which informed us again. We also have more the fun sessions where we introduce other companies that tell us about how they are working with journey management to get inspired, see each other, laugh, have fruit, and those kinds of things. And I think the last thing that's also very important, again, going back to the value of journey management, if you get results with numbers, percentages, the things the business people really like, show them and tie them to the narrative of journey management. This is, of course, not journey management in the pilot that we did, but it's part of proving that this really has business implications and helps the customer, but also our business goals. Yeah, and then it's a complex puzzle. And speaking for myself, I am internally an employee of NS in that complex organization, and there are a lot of projects going on. We have rituals, we have team things, we have questions that arise. So it's a bit of chaos, and all kinds of things demand my attention. So we needed to generate some time and headspace, and one of the things we did was choose a partner to help us. In our case, it was COOS, or COOS, as it's called here on stage. And they really help us keep the focus on the project, also as a sort of challenger. Should we do this? Have you thought about this or that? In preparation of meetings, and also when we had meetings and had a million stickies, to really hash them out, to come to insights and conclusions to continue on our journey. And I think maybe I'll mention it here, we didn't do this together. We also had help, especially by Pascal and Jette, who are not here but at home, so shout out, thanks. And a lot of other people were involved, from leadership, product owners to designers.
Yeah, but I do also want to mention for the consultants here in the room, it is also necessary to have a team like Peter that has the network, that has feet on the ground, because without them, without the pilots, without the network, we were not able to drive this change within NS. The results.
Yeah, so we are making progress. We are not there yet. It's going slow but steady. So on the left side, you see some things that the journeys we have mapped together with the teams. So on the levels, we have 4 macro journeys mapped. Usually we use them more in a team of teams situation to discuss what are the biggest opportunities we should focus on. We have 17 micro journeys mapped and 13 teams working with journeys. We promise the honest story. It's not like these 13 teams are only working with journeys, but they're starting to work with journeys. And slowly but steadily they're changing perspective. We found that it really enables cross-silo thinking. I've talked about the clusters and the teams, and they all have their goals, and it really helps us find an overview as a sort of boundary object to discuss things that we need different teams for, choosing the opportunities that benefit us the most. And also the customer-focused communications internally really improved. So suddenly the discussions we have with each other take on a new form. They start with the customer, and people point at stuff in the journey. So these are the first things that really are starting to happen. And one of the things to connect back to the challenge we have as a change in becoming a mobility provider, all our digital mobility innovations are now journey-led, quote by one of our service designers. So that's a great step, I think, to become more customer-centric. And this goes for talks with teams in prioritizing and what design stuff we should pick up first, with architects, so more the technical components we need to have and the requirements writing to provide the experiences. So this is really cool, I think, that in this niche, at least, it is all journey-led.
Yeah, and to conclude, just a little recap because we went quick. 5 learnings on a row. You can make pictures. I'm not going to make to read them out loud. But I think the main takeaway that I want to share with you is when adopting journey management. I mean, if I've also been there and went online and read about journey management and the structures and the framework and how it should look like. But if you want to make it happen and provide it as a catalyst of change within an organization, you really have to look at the real needs of the company and the rituals and the requirements that they have and act accordingly. And maybe it's not following the textbook version of journey management. Maybe it's a little bit hacky and a little bit shitty, but if it worked for the company, it's a good start and you can build upon that. So that's my main takeaway. We thought about showing you frameworks and going into the nitty-gritty details, but we only had a half hour, and I can imagine that that's the stuff that you also want to hear. So please reach out to us if you have any questions.